And now I'll say a few reasons why we came here. We take part in an international project which was founded by the American State Department. This project has several categories, and we have chosen international security because we think that this problem is very actual in 21st century and it must be solved immediately.
Yes, all of us know you as achieved political leader and economist, and also we know you as a diplomat, and we want to ask you who must be a leader or diplomat, which character of leader, yes, features of character of a real leader, who he must be.
All questions, all should we let them maybe later.
Thanks for coming. It's very unusual to speak in English with Georgian audience and the Georgian youth, but I'll be delighted to answer any questions or talk about areas that interest you. Great.
About diplomacy, some words, your
Yes,
view
yes,
about diplomacy.
Your
Yes,
about
your
diplomacy. What features must have a real diplomat?
Very interesting question. That is very important, especially for the country like us, smaller nation, that is so much dependent on the outside world. We don't have the luxury of big army or big economy or big territory, big population. We need to be very skillful. And then the number one topic, number one problem, number one task for the diplomacy, especially for the nation like us, is to ensure the independence and survival of the state. That's number one task of diplomacy, to ensure the security, national security, and survival of our nation as a state, as an independent state. That is a number one issue. So in order to do that, what is necessary? What should we do? What type of diplomat, what type of leader do we need in this modern world? In an older world, you needed somebody who is maybe tough, maybe very Machiavellian, divide and rule, and be very sneaky sort of type of person, like not a lion, but more like a fox. Have you read Prince Machiavelli?
Yes.
Yeah, and then the question is about the fox or the lion. So the very foxy person, you know. But in these days, I think in the 21st century, that it's diplomacy and relationships are very, very open, very transparent. The technology, the communications are so instant. Everybody knows who you are. It's not easy to hide. It's no time for tricks. I want to trick you today, and then tomorrow I will trick her. It's not going to work because she will know that I already tricked her, and then she will be very wary of me. So my view of diplomacy in the 21st century is based on win-win. I want to, as a diplomat, be so skillful to know what in this, under these circumstances, under whatever specific circumstances are, what are the main issues, main interests, and how can I formulate this task in a way that it is winnable for you and it is winnable for me. So how I understand what motivates you, what drives you, and I understand that and make you aware that I do understand you. Not that I agree with you, but I understand you. I give you psychological air to breathe, you know, that you feel good, that I do understand where you're coming from. Once I do that, you will be in a position to understand me as well. and it would be so much easier to introduce this model like win-win. Let's say if I want to win, right, and I try to trick you, I don't care, I want you to lose and I win. If I won today and then you feel like you lost, what are you going to do? You're going to do everything in your power to undermine me tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So in the long term, you will do everything to undermine me and I will lose. So even though I won today, in the long term, I will lose. So our relationship is going to be not win-lose, but lose-lose. You know what I mean? So the real diplomat, the strong man with the vision is that somebody who can communicate that to other nations or other parties, whoever you are negotiating with. That's a diplomat skill. And also, who is very open and not insecure, trying to hide something. Very comfortable, understands the issues, understands where the world is going, what is my culture, what is my interest, what is your culture, how the economy is working. So, in other words, how the nations function. What are the major needs of the world, and especially your nation, my nation? And if you understand that, it's so easy to conduct it. So, negotiation. So, the diplomat is somebody who has this mindset, openness, and skillfulness, not trying to win at any cost, but tries to win on a basis of winning you and winning me. Otherwise, that's not sustainable, not long-term. So that's the good diplomat and a good leader.
Mr. MAisashvili, what is your attitude towards such a great problem nowadays as terrorism is?
Well, that's a very, very good question. Terrorism is not new. Terrorism has been with us for almost centuries. But what is new is their ability to mass such a huge destruction on a massive scale. In olden days, you needed it to be a head of the army, head of the state, to attack the other state and cause the destruction. But with this technology, diffusion and dissemination, even a small group of people can amass this huge destructive force of technology and then cause the mayhem. Do you know what mayhem is?
No.
Mayhem
Destruction.
Destruction. Just like the Osama bin Laden's 20 people caused this enormous destruction, right, with using the technology. So it's not you're not dealing with non-governmental entities. It's not government-sponsored, but it's sort of little grassroots organizations, like grassroots nations, so that's the challenge of the terrorists, and then that's a danger and deadliness in 21st century. It's more dangerous, and that would be one of the major issues, how to deal with that. But it's not enough to go in and overwhelm them, use overwhelming power like the George Bush used, and ban them and just eradicate. You are breeding another terrorist, like the Israelis are going and bombing Palestinians. They're killing them, but next day somebody else is taking on, and they don't have anything to lose. They have one purpose: to destroy you. They don't love something, they just hate you so much they want to destroy you. So you need to deal with terrorism with force, but you don't need to deal with terrorism like not only terrorism, but with the causes of terrorism. So we need to make as many friends as we can. So that's the issue of terrorism.